Hello team, welcome to another ATP Geopolitics video with myself, Jonathan M.S. Pearce. This is I guess a Ukraine war, but it's almost more US political breaking news special. You have an embattled Donald Trump in terms of the Epstein files scandal, whereby he's needing to distract. And one of the distraction tools he has been employing has been to try and incriminate Barack Obama in some kind of, well, many would say false project to implicate Trump in colluding with Russia, or at least that there are trumped up charges of influence and meddling by the Russians in the American 2016 presidential election. Now, what happened at the time is Obama was reacting to claims of interference and said about a report or an investigation into the interference, and a bipartisan report came out or was carried out, and it was agreed upon by many people, including Senator at the time, Senator Marco Rubio, now the Secretary of State. And you had even, goodness me, I think even Trump admitted at one point to there being influence. You had Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, admitting on Joe Rogan to it in 2018. And then subsequently, Tulsi Gabbard has come out and said, no, Obama had sort of brought about this hoax of Russian interference and whatnot, and then they are going to take him down to Chinatown. The issue I said previously is that actually Obama is protected by the very controversial Supreme Court ruling of immunity that Trump succeeded in getting, and everyone thought that was incredibly controversial. I still do think it is, but it could well help Obama out there because he's immune from this kind of prosecution. Anyway, so Tulsi Gabbard and Donald Trump are trying to, as it says here, it's time to indict Obama, the traitor, for treason. Okay. And then this happens today. So Fox News bring out an article, an exclusive, a scoop. It's very poorly written, so makes it seem like it's a rush job, and I'll explain to you how it's poorly written in a second with all sorts of repetition. But anyway, this is about Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, apparently very coincidentally, finding thousands of sensitive Trump-Russia probe documents inside burn bags in a secret room at the FBI. So he's just suddenly found a load of bags of really sensitive documentation that supposedly shows that Trump and Obama that Obama had been, trying to, or the FBI were prepping up to score a hit, if you like, on Trump over connections to Russia. So let's read the article, well, at least the beginning of it, and then we'll kind of summarize it. So it starts off, exclusive. FBI Director Kash Patel found a trove of sensitive documents related to the origins of the Trump-Russia probe, buried in multiple burn bags in a secret room inside the bureau. Sources familiar with the incident told Fox News Digital. Sources told Fox News Digital that the burn bag system is used to destroy documents designated as classified or higher. Sources told Fox News Digital that multiple burn bags were found and filled with thousands of documents. Sources told Fox News Digital that one of the documents FBI officials found in a burn bag was the classified annex to former Special Counsel John Durham's final report, which includes the underlying intelligence he reviewed. Now, either this is really badly written, or it could be that they've had a word to lawyers, and lawyers say, you've got to say that sources are saying this, not you, Fox News. But anyway, it's very badly written. You can do that without starting every sentence with the same sentence starter. Anyway, I was just wondering whether this was just a cobbled together sort of piece, a hit job. Well, not a hit job, but the timing is incredible for this. It really is. And it just, I start wondering whether this has just been an attempt. I mean, it does look like a massive attempt to get Trump off the hook while the Epstein files are hanging over him like the sword of Damocles. Anyway, sources told Fox News Digital that one of the documents FBI officials found in the burn bag was a classified annex to former Special Counsel John Durham's final report, which includes the underlying intelligence he reviewed. The declassification of the classified annex is being done in close coordination between... I wonder who's going to be involved in declassifying this documentation. I hope it's going to be, objective people that are not massive loyalists, but people that we can trust. Who is it? CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Kash Patel, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Acting National Security Agency Director William Hartman. Okay, no. The declassified annex will be transmitted to, and what's interesting here is not to the DOJ, they're giving it to Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, who ultimately will release a document to the public. I've got a little more to say on him. So Chuck Grassley is a little bit controversial at the moment. So Trump has just slagged off Chuck Grassley, saying, Chuck Grassley, who I got re-elected to the US Senate when he was down by a lot in the great state of Iowa, could solve the blue slip problem we are having with respect to the appointment of highly qualified judges and US attorneys. With a mere flick of a pen, Democrats like Schumer, Warner, Kaine, Booker, Schiff, and others, sleazebags all, have an ironclad stoppage of great Republican candidates. Put mildly, simply, the President of the United States will never be permitted to appoint the person of his choice because of the ancient and probably unconstitutional custom, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so what happened is he had a bit of a go at Chuck Grassley. Then Chuck Grassley came out and said, I was surprised to see President Trump go after me and Senate Republicans, and I'm disappointed that it would result in personal insults. But what then happened, so what he was, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't have a great grasp of this, but they're trying to get someone who's been nominated to a legal position. And it turns out that Chuck Grassley had previously said, today is National Whistleblower Day. Too often whistleblowers are treated like skunks at picnic They are patriotic people trying to keep government accountable to the people. So he's previously been a strong advocate for whistleblowers, and he's now just signed off on this guy who has the irony of Chuck Grassley tweeting this right after confirming this chap called Emil Bove, who has been voted basically along party lines, although I think Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins crossed and voted with the Democrats. But Chuck Grassley voted this guy in to a lifetime appointment on the Third Circuit Court, despite being warned that Bove is an evil fascist POS. You guessed it, and a whistleblower. And so there's all sorts of irony sort of going on here. So Chuck Grassley, the key guy in whistleblower protection legislation, kicked whistleblowers in the teeth. So they got this slightly wrong. Like the guy is an anti-whistleblower that he's nominated. Kicked whistleblowers in the teeth by confirming Emil Bove to a lifetime judgeship after whistleblowers came forward exposing Bove's criminal contempt for the judiciary. So whistleblowers came out against Bove. And rather than say, yeah, whistleblowers are really important, he's like, no, screw you guys, I'm going to put this guy in. Anyway, some people are saying this looks like, when you're talking about Chuck Grassley being handed these documents from the FBI, from Patel, it looks like work to try and get Chuck Grassley on side, and there are things going on behind the scenes, essentially. Sources exclusively briefed Fox News Digital on some of the contents of the classified annex, including the US intelligence community had credible foreign sources indicating that the FBI would play a role in spreading the alleged Trump-Russia collusion narrative before the Bureau ever launched its controversial Crossfire Hurricane probe. In other words, that this is supposed to be documentation that implicates the FBI in spreading a false narrative about Trump-Russia collusion, that the FBI is involved in the presentation of falsehoods concerning Trump and Russia. A source familiar with the contents of the classified annex told Fox News Digital that while it may not have been exactly clear in the moment what the intelligence collection meant, with the benefit of hindsight, it predicted the FBI's next move with alarming specificity. Quote, ultimately, the release of the classified annex will lend more credibility to the assertion that there was a coordinated plan inside the US government to help the Clinton campaign stir up controversy connecting Trump to Russia. The source, who was granted anonymity to discuss sensitive intelligence matters that have not yet been made public, told Fox News Digital. Quote, mere days after this intelligence was collected, the FBI launched Crossfire Hurricane. The source said, it's really hard to see how Brennan, Clapper and Comey are going to be able to explain this away. End quote. Sources told Fox News Digital that Patel and his team discovered a previously undisclosed sensitive compartmented information facility, a SCIF, in the FBI headquarters. So they've found this secret room where they've got all these bags of stuff that's supposed to be burnt, but they just don't happen to have been burnt. And it's like, hey, here is a smoking gun to implicate Obama. And meanwhile, Trump and the Epstein files thing is burning away over here. It's, can we distract people away from that? Would be the cynical response here. Sources told Fox News Digital that Patel said that. So Fox News Digital reached out to previous FBI directors, Christopher Wray and James Comey, for comment, and they've not yet received any responses. Patel, in a June interview with podcast host Joe Rogan, revealed that he found a room full of documents and computer hard drives that no one had ever seen or heard of. So it does seem to be that there is some foreshadowing for this. And so if the cynic would say that this all looks like it's very convenient and just at the right time. But the other side of the story would be, actually, they found this, he admitted they found this room sometime back, and then they came out with the claim that Obama was involved in, trying to implicate Trump, and this is all part of some big plan at the end of his tenure. And then now a source has spoken to Fox News, giving some greater details on this. Quote, just think about this, Patel told Joe Rogan. Me, as director of the FBI, the former Russiagate guy, who, when I first got to the Bureau, found a room that Comey and others hid from the world in the Hoover building, full of documents and computer hard drives that no one had ever seen or heard of. Locked the key and hid access and just said, no one's ever going to find this place. Patel and his staff have been working through the documents, some of which are related to sensitive investigations, including the FBI's original Trump-Russia probe, known inside the Bureau as Crossfire Hurricane. It's unclear what the latest documents cover specifically, but sources told Fox News Digital that the most recent discovery was pursuant to an investigative request from Grassley. Grassley has been requesting information related to Durham's probe. Durham was appointed after then special counsel Robert Mueller completed his years-long investigation into the origins of the Trump-Russia probe, including intelligence community malfeasance during and in the aftermath of the 2016 election. Sources told Fox News Digital that Grassley's team is now reviewing the underlying information as part of its investigative work. As for the other records, Patel's staff is working to turn them over to Congress pursuant to investigative requests by committees of jurisdiction. Patel has been instrumental in unraveling the alleged Russia collusion narrative. And so then to go back to being a cynic, well, this is exactly what Patel wanted to do, to come into government and unravel the idea that there was any kind of connection between Trump's success in the 2016 election and Russia, either through collusion, agency, or through interference. And he's doing that. And he's finding secret rooms full of bags of documentation that no one else has ever seen. So you can't help but feeling a little bit dubious concerning this. I don't know. It seems a little bit suspicious to me. Visioner sort of sums it up. Patel stated he uncovered a special room inside the FBI headquarters where the world's most secret materials are stored. He found a large number of documents and hard drives that seemingly no one ever knew about. Among the discovered materials was a classified annex to Special Counsel John Durham's report on the alleged Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. Reports indicate that preparations were underway to destroy the files. Most of the documents were placed in special burn bags, containers intended for the destruction of classified materials, and Patel submitted this information to the Senate. Preparations are reportedly underway for public disclosure of the materials. Mike Nellis here, who's one of the more cynical people when looking at this, is Democrat. The Kash Patel story is such obvious BS. He's personally roaming around the FBI office, finds a secret room and secret files that prove his own conspiracy theory, and instead of doing something about it himself as the FBI director, he gives it to Senate Republicans. It's such an obvious distraction from the Epstein cover-up. Weak S. Someone else, it's funny how he and Dan Bongino can roam the corridors of the FBI for weeks and find a secret room full of secret files about the Russia hoax in a burn bag, but these dope-smoking MFers can't find the name of a single Epstein client. Both liars. So it does seem incredibly suspect. Ron Filipkowski from the Midas Touch Network says, if Trump keeps making incriminating Epstein statements, Kash and Bongino might have to find some Hillary emails. So it's the idea that, they're just finding things all very conveniently just when they need to find them. The claim here, Patel found thousands of sensitive Trump-Russia probe docs inside burn bags in secret room at the FBI. We'll see how this develops, but there is a certain ring of incredibly convenient, with Chuck Grassley even being sort of on the wrong end of Trump, now possibly being welcomed back into the fold with being the point man for the publication of said documents if it does happen. It does seem very suspect, but who knows? I mean, goodness, if these were real, then that is insanely controversial. I just can't see them being real. But yeah, what do I know? Take care. Speak to you soon.